Welcome to the 122nd Commencement of Salus University, Thursday, May 27, 2021. This ceremony was pre-recorded on Salus University's campus. As pomp and circumstance music plays in the background, a pan of each college's gonfalons, or flags, is shown on the screen. Starting with the Osborne College of Audiology. College of Health Sciences, Education, and Rehabilitation. Pennsylvania College of Optometry. And faculty. A panning shot of all the college's gonfalons are shown again, ending with a shot of the commencement stage and podium. To the left of the podium stands the Fox flag. And to the right of the podium is the ceremonial mace. As panning shots of campus are shown, a pop-up message appears on the screen that says, "Share your photos and congratulatory messages for graduates on social media using hashtag SalusGrad, and don't forget to tag @Salus University." Please rise for the national anthem. President Middleman stands at the podium to give his welcome address.
Ms. Serpin, board members, alumni president Dr. Marchigiani, Dr. Eckert, Congresswoman Dean, Mr. Horn, other distinguished guests, colleagues, families, and friends, and especially our new graduates. Good afternoon and welcome to the virtual graduation exercises for the class of 2021. So here we are once again, the third time we're having to do this outside. I really thought we'd be doing this at the Kimmel Center when we started the planning of this many, many months ago. But obviously circumstances have dealt us another hand. And while we all realize this isn't what anybody ever expected, this virtual ceremony certainly doesn't minimize any of your hard work or accomplishments. And I tell you what, we're going to do everything we can to celebrate your success and accomplishments in the best way possible. I want to thank and congratulate the family members and friends of the graduates for supporting these young professionals during some very, very demanding times. I'm sure that your encouragement and support was critical in motivating them to achieve beyond a level that they ever thought possible. You can tell we're outside, right? I'd also like to thank Dr. James Caldwell, Ms. Alexis Abate, their staffs, and so many others for seamlessly combining tradition with virtual reality to represent our commencement today so masterfully. They're getting pretty good at this stuff. Don't get too good though. I applaud our faculty and staff for managing to keep our ship afloat over the last 14 months by adapting new and innovative ways to instruct and manage. They are rock stars. And lastly, a special thank you to Congresswoman Madeleine Dean for providing the keynote address today, and to Mr. Robert Horn for accepting the honorary degree, Doctor of Humane Letters from Salus University. So in the Navy, when an aircraft carrier commences flight operations, the carrier flies the Fox flag to let everyone know that they'll be launching aircraft, pretty much to serve as a warning to everybody to be on the lookout for them. Well, today we're following that tradition. We're also flying the Fox flag here at Salus to let everyone know we're launching a new set of healthcare professionals into the world. And they better look out, because here come the best and brightest. And now to you, our graduates. Congratulations. Although we're separated at this moment, please know that we all celebrate your accomplishments. I think Oprah Winfrey said it best, and I quote, "You are indeed the chosen class for such a time as this. Similar to your colleagues who graduated last year, you're also a united class, the pandemic class, that has the entire world striving to graduate with you. But even though there may not be pomp because of your circumstances, never has a graduating class been called on to step into the future with more purpose, vision, and passion, and energy, and hope than you. We are certainly continuing to live through times that force us to be responsive to change. Change brought on by the unprecedented circumstances in our nation's recent history, the pandemic, political discourse and social injustice, resilience, responsiveness, innovation, evolution, compassion, maintaining the ability to listen and learn, and flexibility is how our institution continues to strive. Now a bit of history to put this all into perspective. Before COVID-19, the last devastating pandemic to hit the United States and the world was the Spanish flu, which occurred in 1918. By September of that year, Philadelphia witnessed its first wave of casualties, eventually tallying over 16,000 dead and 500,000 infections within 6 months of its onset. At the same time, our founding institution, the Pennsylvania College of Optometry, was launched here in Philadelphia in the midst of this pandemic, namely in January 1919, while the city was still struggling to contain the pandemic. Despite this public health disaster, our founders forged ahead, pulled their resources together, developing innovative and cutting-edge curriculum for the time, responding to the needs of their patients, and advocating and making legislative inroads that ensured optometry would be, as our first president said, on par with other medical professions. Now, 102 years later, our institution finds itself again in the middle, hopefully near the end, of a historical pandemic. But just like in 1919, we continue to innovate, we continue to evolve, we continue to be responsive. So, as the university continues to manage through these exceptional times, you all will be the ones that chart and forge our path into the future. You've been given the tools to innovate, collaborate, and be responsive for the betterment of your chosen professions. What a great opportunity you all have. Well, at this point in my remarks, other than listening to the birds, I would usually try to impart several tidbits of wisdom to you. In the interest of time, I'd like to leave you with only one I think exceeds all the others. A now famous Navy Admiral, Admiral Bill McRaven, said during a commencement speech that the most important thing you can do to start your day is to make your bed. Well, now, I was a Navy Admiral, certainly not as famous as Bill, but I'm also not so sure I totally agree with him. I think the most important thing you can do when starting your day is to think about what will you do to make someone else's life better. It doesn't have to be much, but whatever you do to enhance someone's life can pay untold dividends down the road and certainly make your day better as well. Now, it won't hurt you to make your bed, but think about the other stuff too. Let me conclude with some words of inspiration from President Barack Obama, and I quote, "With everything suddenly feeling like it's up for grabs, this is your time to seize the initiative. Nobody can tell you anymore that you should be waiting your turn. Nobody can tell you anymore that this is how it's always been done. More than ever, this is your moment, your generation's world to shape. I would challenge you, go forth and help shape that world. I know you're all ready to make this challenge happen, so make it happen now. With that, I extend our heartiest congratulations again to all of you and your families on this most significant achievement. Best wishes and Godspeed. And now I'd like to welcome Gina Rosalyn Lerner from the Osborne College of Audiology, who will deliver the graduate address.
Gina Lerner stands at the podium to give the graduate address.
Family, friends, educators, and distinguished members of the Platform Party, thank you for joining us here today as we gather to celebrate the remarkable achievement of the class of 2021. We are so grateful you are here. It is truly an honor to recognize the faculty, staff, and students from all of the programs who are a part of today's commencement, including not only my program, Audiology, but biomedicine, blindness and low vision studies, occupational therapy, optometry, public health, and speech and language pathology. I am humbled by the opportunity to address you all on this special occasion. Let's take a moment and reflect on the year that we have all faced. No one could have predicted that we would be spending our final year as Salus students during a global pandemic. This past year has been unpredictable, to say the least. A lot has changed, not only within each of our individual lives, but in the world, and in the arenas of education, research, and healthcare especially. We have watched as our nation's top healthcare, public health, and research leaders work tirelessly to discover and implement creative ways to overcome this pandemic at a remarkably fast rate, including the development of effective vaccines against the COVID-19 virus. Many lives have been lost this year, and even more would have been if it wasn't for the efforts put in place by scientists, healthcare professionals, public health professionals, researchers, and frontline workers, including educators, who deserve all the recognition in the world. An important lesson that I have learned from this year is that there is only one thing in this world that we know for certain, and that is that change is inevitable. I believe this is especially true in the field of health sciences, not only during a global pandemic, but always. Healthcare, research, public health, and education are and will always be continuously evolving. And in most instances, this is a good thing. It means that we are continuously learning and improving our current practices for the sake of our patients. If you really think about it, healthcare, research, public health, and education should never stand still. They should always be shifting and progressing to better serve our patients and students. I encourage you all to imagine if our current fields never embrace change. Imagine the archaic ways of thinking that many of our fields first began with. All of our practices have evolved and changed as advancements and technologies were developed and as the needs for our patients changed. If it wasn't for these advancements, my patients would never have access to sound the way modern hearing aids and cochlear implants can provide. This pandemic has changed the way we work, learn, and interact with one another. Many of us have experienced the challenges associated with online and virtual learning. This was not only difficult for students, but also for educators. I would like to acknowledge our faculty and professors for all the additional work required of them to alter their lectures and material to an online format. As difficult as it can be for students, it is equally as difficult for our educators to adapt to that change. This past year, we have seen firsthand how patient care has changed. We have seen a tremendous rise in telemedicine services during this pandemic. The change towards this way of patient care will likely continue in the future because it provides ease and convenience for our patients. It allows patients to have access to care no matter where they live. It allows us to better serve our patients and provide greater access to education. The use of telemedicine may have started because of quarantine, but it will not end with it. We are always moving towards more technological advancements and ways to improve patient interactions. And the need for change is not only crucial in technological advancements, but also in the promotion of just and equitable healthcare and education environments that serve diverse populations of patients and students. We need to embrace public health and continue to work towards creating more inclusive workspaces for one another and for our patients and students so that they feel safe and comfortable and so that they receive the best services possible. As future healthcare workers, researchers, and educators, it is our job to not only adapt to change as it comes toward us, but to embrace it, to learn from and challenge current practices, and work towards a better future. I encourage you all to not only accept change as it presents itself, but to be the leaders of that change. We have had the opportunity to learn from some of the top experts in their respective fields here at Salus University. Salus and all of its faculty have emphasized the importance of being the leaders of our fields, to embrace academic innovation by teaching us the most up-to-date practice standards. We have been taught the importance of a patient-centered approach to healthcare, to treat our patients as a whole, and to work with their best interests in mind. We have been encouraged to seek out interprofessional environments, to work in collaboration with one another as clinicians, and to work together to advance our fields. To continue learning even after we graduate, because healthcare is always changing. The wonderful faculty here at Salus University have given us the knowledge and tools to do such things, to be leaders. I would like to personally thank a specific faculty member of the Osborne College of Audiology and a very close family friend for not only introducing me to the field of audiology, but being an integral part of my education. Dr. Sherman Lord, thank you for allowing me to follow in your footsteps. I know most of us imagine this moment a little differently. I know many of us were looking forward to the day after all our hard work and effort to be able to walk across the stage at the Kimmel Center with our peers, professors, and families by our sides, just as we did during our white coat ceremony. This may be different than what we originally had in mind, but it doesn't diminish how special this moment is for each and every one of us. I encourage you all to leave today knowing that we don't know what tomorrow will bring, but to be ready to challenge our current practices, dare to be innovators, think outside the box, and be the next leaders within our chosen professions. After overcoming the changes and challenges associated with a global pandemic, I can confidently say that we are ready for any change thrown our way. So congratulations to the graduates of the class of 2021. Go out there and not only embrace, but create change.
President Middleman stands at the podium to introduce the keynote speaker.
Board Chair Serpin, graduates, distinguished faculty, fellow administrators, honored guests, family, and friends. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker today, Congresswoman Madeleine Dean, representative of the 4th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. The notorious RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, is quoted by saying, "Fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you." I believe today's honoree is, in fact, that voice and leader who advocates for not only the constituents in her district, but champions the bigger picture by working on legislation and activities which focuses on decency and the common good. Much of what our graduates today represent as well. After receiving her undergraduate degree at LaSalle University, not far from us, she continued her studies, earning a law degree from Widener University. For a number of years, she practiced law in Philadelphia, but then took the proverbial left-hand turn and changed careers. For over a decade, she was an instructor in English in the English department at LaSalle, and frequently contributed to the Philadelphia Inquirer, Daily News, and other publications. Now, eventually, with her children grown, her focus turned increasingly to public service. She first served as a commissioner for Abington Township and would soon win a special election to the Pennsylvania State House in 2012. Her time and experience in Harrisburg would inspire her to run for Congress at a time when no woman held any of the 18 congressional seats in Pennsylvania. Laser-focused, she set out to change this eventually, winning the 4th District seat in 2018. Now happily serving Montgomery County and a part of Berks County, Madeleine continues her work to build a more compassionate society by making smart, humane policy choices. It means working to ensure that government functions smoothly and delivers the services her constituents need. She is one busy lady. Therefore, it is my privilege to introduce our Glenside neighbor, the Honorable Congresswoman Madeleine Dean.
Congresswoman Madeleine Dean stands at the podium to give the keynote address.
Hello, Salus University students. I am delighted to be here with you today. First, a sincere thank you to your president, Dr. Michael Middleman, for the honor of being asked to be a part of this exciting commencement. President Middleman, I admire your life and your career of service to our country, both as an extraordinary naval officer and to our public health as a practitioner and an educator, and now leader of Salus University. Salus is an important part of my 4th Congressional District here in Montgomery County. I am proud to serve the students here. And so, Michael, I enjoyed the chance to talk with you and your whole team about the good work being done here and about the chance to talk today. I'll offer you just a little bit about me. I'm a mother and a grandmother. I'm a lawyer. I'm a former university professor and now public servant. It is an honor, an extraordinary privilege to serve in Congress at any time, but especially now, in this time of our nation's history and challenges and possibilities. I serve on Judiciary and Financial Services Committees, and I am co-chair of the Bipartisan Women's Caucus. And most recently, I had the solemn duty, the honor really, to serve as an impeachment manager. One more thing about me. I'm nearsighted, and I have worn glasses forever, but more about my eyesight a little later. As I prepared these remarks, in addition to speaking with the President, I consulted with my coworkers, many of whom have undergraduate and advanced degrees, about what they had hoped to hear in a commencement address. The answer was remarkably the same. Say something that connects with my life, and be short. So here goes. Today is about you. You are the stars of this day, the graduates of Salus's 3 colleges, Pennsylvania College of Optometry, Osborne College of Audiology, the College of Health Sciences, Education, and Rehabilitation. To all of today's graduates, the class of 2021, I want you to know that I'm so proud of you, and I'm lucky for the chance to tell you so. Learning in a classroom with students from more than 16 countries made you more aware, adept, and understanding. Your exceptional education in optometry, audiology, and health sciences will allow you to thrive in your future careers. You have all the tools with an extra bit of tenacity that no other class has had, having lived through a pandemic that has shaken our world. From the start of your program, your ideas have been questioned, your beliefs have been challenged. I was thinking about your decision to choose Salus University and these powerful colleges for your professional education, and I'm confident of at least 2 reasons you chose Salus. 1, that you want to be a healthcare professional and a part of and a practitioner of the very best, the most innovative healthcare delivery in optometry, audiology, and health sciences for our community and the greater community. And 2, you saw in Salus a place of committed, caring educators and professionals offering a high-quality education and extraordinary training. And I know many of you were drawn to Salus's diversity and commitment to giving back to the community. For all of that, congratulations and thank you. Your choices reveal a lot about you and your character. Character, like a career, is built one day, one step at a time. In his book, The Road to Character, David Brooks argues that today we are often caught up worrying about what he calls our, quote, resume virtues, or achieving wealth or fame. And instead, he argues, we should focus on our eulogy virtues, the things we might like to be remembered for, and that the road to character is sprinkled with humility and recognizing the good in others. By contrast, I am sure that one thing you did not anticipate when you were making decisions about your studies was that our country and our globe would soon suffer the greatest pandemic in a century, with massive losses of life, incredible shocks and strains on our healthcare system and to our economy. COVID-19 has put healthcare and innovation in the delivery of healthcare front and center for all of us. So while many of you understandably lament the losses this past year and a half has brought to us, particularly our students, young and adult, I wanted to focus on our gains, specifically on your gains. You have earned what I believe is a master's in humility and humanity. Humility in the face of a virus and a refocus on what matters, our common humanity. Whether you studied optometry, audiology, health sciences, you have studied and practiced in the areas of vision, hearing, speech, and the delivery of health services and rehabilitation at an extraordinary time in our country's history. As for vision and foreseeing, sure, you have learned the latest tools of the trade and sciences around sight, but equally as powerful, you have learned that we must take the time to look through another person's lenses, to search for the truth, to search for healing and what matters. In terms of audiology and hearing and speaking, you have learned to listen more, to listen with the intention of actually hearing the other person. And you have learned the powerful doors that actually open when we do listen, and those that remain slammed shut when we refuse to listen. And as for what we have learned about speech, we are reminded our words matter. Words have the power to wound, and we have the responsibility to one another not to use speech as a weapon. And of course, we know that words also have the power to heal. And for those in health sciences, you have learned the power in working together, in seeing and hearing those who maybe were competitors, now collaborators, for the delivery of healthcare and for the rehabilitation of us all, for the greater good. I told you about my nearsightedness, my glasses-wearing self, at least before the pandemic. During the pandemic, as I faithfully wear my mask, I find that I seldom wear my glasses because they fog up over my mask. As I put them on now, more than a year into this pandemic and having seldom worn them, I no longer see well through them. My pre-pandemic prescription no longer works. And I'm not sure why, although I have a feeling most of the people in this room could tell me. But I think of it as a metaphor. And the metaphor is this: we can never look at life again the same way, our role in it. We have to look through different lenses and see more clearly the role we have to play for the common good. So, my wish for you is that you take all of your learning, your Salus advanced degrees in your chosen profession, and your unofficial, unexpected, unmatriculated masters in humility and humanity to do good in the world. It is clear that you all excelled at your professional educations and clinical work here, and you are surrounded by family and friends who helped you and are so proud of you too. I cannot wait for what the future holds for all of you, and by extension, all of us, as you put your talents and your commitments and passions for the common good to work. And maybe I will see one of you when I finally get around to updating my prescription. Thank you for this chance to be with you.
Dr. Ruth Shoge stands at the podium to orate the honorary degree recipient.
President Middleman, distinguished members of the board, honored guests, faculty, graduates, friends, and family, it is with extreme pleasure, honor, and pride that I present to you Robert E. Horn as our honoree on this day. Dean Horn began his career at the Pennsylvania College of Optometry in 1976, and he served the university community faithfully until his retirement in 2012. His story, however, begins on the campus of Bowling Green University, where he majored in accounting and became an All-American in track and field as a sprinter. He became assistant to the Dean of Students at Bowling Green University upon graduation while earning a master's degree in higher education administration. Between 1973 and 1976, Dean Horn served as the director of the University Scholars Program at Colgate University. When Dean Horn arrived at PCO, there were no more than 10 minority students enrolled in the entire school, and as the new director of Minority Student Affairs, he astutely realized that the institution needed to not only open its doors, but create a cultural change. During his tenure at PCO, Dean Horn became the vice president and then dean of Student Affairs and transformed the lives of students, as well as the diversity of the student body. Even after his retirement in 2012, Dean Horn continued as a consultant, directing the summer enrichment program until it ended in 2015. In 1977, Dean Horn launched the school's landmark summer enrichment program, which helped PCO garner a national reputation for being able to successfully recruit and graduate more minority students than its fellow optometry schools. And that reputation persists to this day. During his tenure, Dean Horn had more than 700 participants complete the SEP. I am a product of the Summer Enrichment Program, which is where I first met Dean Horn. From the beginning, he made it very clear that his expectations were high for those enrolled in the program, and his stern yet affirming advice gave us the confidence to succeed. When I returned to PCO as a faculty member, I was given the opportunity to teach and mentor the summer students, and this year I am the director of the program with a relaunch scheduled for June 2021. This is a full circle moment, and I acknowledge that I walk in the imprinted steps of very big shoes that are impossible to fill. Dean Horn has taught me over the years that the Summer Enrichment Program is not about the rigor of the coursework, but rather the program is about establishing the discipline and routine that is needed to be successful, as well as the importance of mentorship, both the mentorship from faculty and from peers. The Summer Enrichment Program provides the opportunity to recognize students for their great potential and gives them the tools to turn that potential into success. During his time at PCO and Salus University, it was Dean Horn's goal to make a difference, to leave this institution in a better place than he found it. He certainly left an indelible impression, and many graduates can thank him for their present-day success. I'm honored to call Dr. Horn mentor, advisor, and friend. For all of these achievements, President Middleman, it is my profound honor and privilege to recommend that Salus University express its gratitude and thanks for a lifetime of dedication and accomplishments by bestowing the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters on Robert E. Horn at this time.
President Middleman stands at the podium to confer the honorary degree.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, by power vested in it by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I now confer upon you the honorary degree, Doctor of Humane Letters, and present you the appropriate diploma. During his response, please observe that Dean Horn is adorned with the hood that symbolizes this high honor, which he so richly deserves.
Honorary degree recipient Robert Horn stands at the podium to share his remarks.
Good afternoon, and congratulations to the class of 2021. To Dr. Middleman, the Board of Trustees, Dr. Artis, and everyone who played a part in my selection, I can't begin to tell you how thankful and humble I am to receive this honor. I will be brief, as I know everyone is here to see the graduates. I would, however, like to take a few minutes to share with you the history of my early tenure at PCO, Salus. The truth of the matter is, I accepted the invitation to interview as a favor to Dr. John Crozier. I was working at Colgate University at the time and had recently been offered a position at the University of Florida. During my interview, I saw nothing that made me want to come to PCO until I met with 3 of the 4 students of color. They shared with me their view of a college and how they didn't feel like they were a part of the college. On the plane ride back to New York, and for the days afterwards, I could not get out of my head the interview with those students. Based on that interview and hearing the students' concerns, I accepted the position of Director of Minority Student Affairs at PCO. When I arrived on campus in 1977, like most people at the time, I knew very little about optometry. I learned that there were 23,000 to 24,000 practicing optometrists in the country. However, less than 200 of those doctors were doctors of color. Like most states, most of the schools and colleges of optometry either did not have students of color in their class or had only a few. In an attempt to address this issue, a year or so before, PCO had joined with a few students who traveled to a number of HBCUs to recruit students. The project resulted in 10 students entering PCO in the fall of 1976. However, by the end of the academic year, all had left the program. When we reviewed the files, talked with faculty, students, some of the students who had left, and staff, it became clear to all that the students were bright and had been successful in their prior academic careers. And while PCO had done an excellent job of recruiting and admitting those students, little had been done to prepare the students for the level of commitment and the effort needed to be successful in a professional degree program. More importantly, less had been done to prepare PCO for the cultural and climate change needed to make all students, not just students of color, feel comfortable and welcome into college. In order for the cultural and climate change to take place, every employee and student needed to participate. First of all, everyone needed to understand what was thought to be equal treatment was not always fair treatment, and that everything was not black and white necessarily. Changing the culture clearly did not happen overnight, but over several years. However, as students of color became more comfortable, they became our best recruiters. Additionally, many of those students became student leaders and are today leaders in the profession of optometry and others. You will note that I have not given you names of the people who helped change the culture of PCO. The reason is because there were a great many people who not only supported what we were doing, but also defended the plan and the summer enrichment program. The last thing I'd want to do is leave someone off of that list. I would, however, like to thank those faculty members who worked in the summer enrichment program. Not only did they help to prepare students academically, they also became unofficial advisors and mentors for students of color. The impact they had on students to help foster the feeling of belonging cannot be measured. Clearly, I can't leave you without a word of thanks to the one group that made all of this possible. All of the students who trusted me and gave me everything they had to be successful. Trust that I will always remember each and every one of you. Again, thank you for this honor and congratulations to the doctors. It is my hope that you will treat each of your patients as if they are the most important person in the world, regardless of who they are or what they look like. Thank you.
Dr. Caldwell stands at the podium to announce the honors.
President Middleman, Platform Party, faculty and administration, graduates, and friends. It is a pleasure to announce the honors earned by our graduates. Please direct your attention to the program booklet. Each honor is named along with a brief citation. So that we may recognize those members of the graduating class today with family and friends present, honors recipients are presented on the university website, www.salus.edu/commencement. Congratulations to each recipient as we recognize and celebrate your achievement.
Dr. Eckert stands at the podium to present all of the candidates for the master's degrees.
Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Department of Blindness and Low Vision Studies and the faculty of the Department of Speech Language Pathology and the faculty of the Department of Occupational Therapy, the faculty of the Department of Public Health, each from the College of Health Sciences, Education, and Rehabilitation, I am pleased to present to you the class of 2021, all of whom have fulfilled the requirements for the degrees Master of Education, Master of Science, or Master of Public Health. I recommend that these earned degrees be conferred on each of these candidates at this time.
President Middleman stands at the podium to confer the master's degrees.
Candidates for the Master of Education, Master of Science, and Master of Public Health degrees, upon the recommendation of your faculty, I, representing the Board of Trustees, by power vested in it by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, do now individually confer upon you your earned degree. We recognize each of you as your name is announced.
Dr. Caldwell stands at the podium to announce the graduates' names.
Master of Education, Bridget Brazil. Rachel M. Lang. Rochelle Miller. Megan Ann Van Norman. Master of Science, Low Vision Rehabilitation. Amara Sharmeen. Master of Science, Orientation and Mobility. Alyssa Rose Ballerini. Carly Blasco, Megan Bretz, Emily Rose Brown, Julia Daniel Tolbert, Megan L. Deely, Douglas Gilbert, Brianna Harriston, Nicole Simone J., Shannon C. Spicer, Master of Science, Vision Rehabilitation Teaching, Lauren Hanrahan, Sophie Ann Poliquin, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology, Courtney N. Bensel, Lauren E. Cogshaw, Sydney M. Karen, Deanna Marie Delapia, Barbara Huh, Monica Frances Hopkins, Nora Grace Hopkins, Hannah E. Jaskuda, Cameron Rose Keller, Olivia Lewandowski, James Liu Jr., Megan Marie Manfrey, Kayla Rose Morcado, Nina M. Metz, Michelle J. McVeeman, Amanda Emma Moxham, Andrea Ortega, Kara M. Ozemkowitz, Darianne Carolina Pastelak, Melanie Taylor Polo, Shannon Elizabeth Riley, Rebecca Ritzik, Julia Marie Sanelli, Samara Claire Santry, Haley Elise Snyder, Allison Stern, Andrew John Terafis, Jacqueline Victoria Tasker, Emily E. Taylor, Jenna Emmeline Utz, Gabrielle Bailey Varillo, Kelsey Lynn Walsh, Haley Christine Wyckoff, Julia Michelle Zoll, Maria Teresa Zolnys, Master of Science in Occupational Therapy, Elizabeth Ann Aroni, Gina Bischoff, Janie Patricia Black, Olivia Mary Bodie, Brielle Summer Clark, McKenna DeCraft, Angela DeClerc, Amber Y. DeLuca, Nicole DeRobertis, Andrea Nessa Dunn, Tavi Alicia Denise L, Hannah Ray Elistad, Aria Enright, Daniela M. Foe, Kayla J. Filloon, Joanna L. Fortune, Olivia Judith Gorski, Kylie M. Grisbowski, Amber Lee Gunn, Emily Christine Hamilton, Kristen Elizabeth Hassey, Molly Hope, Monica Rose Huber, Chelsea Nicole Iconiani, Jessica Melanie Ionescu, Stephanie Brianna Kaplan, Harika Karyampudi, Jamie Lee Knabel, Nina Marie Majewitz, Shelby L. McClay, Cassidy Margaret McCullough, Camille Marcina Menz, Healy Lynn Miller, Sarah Ann Nesbitt, Kirsten M. Nice, Alex Paluzzi, Olivia Pereira, Maria J. Pravada, Kelly Aaron Quigley, Caitlin Robinson, Miguel Santos, Natalie Marie Schaefer, Jacqueline E. Schechtel, Maria Shuck, Kendall Leanna Spur, Victoria M. Tumaz, Natasha Upadaya, Ashley L. Walter, Rachel Nicole Weaver, Mary Zhu, Master of Public Health, Okechukwu Egoluchi,
Dr. Eckert stands at the podium to present all the candidates for the doctoral degrees.
Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Department of Occupational Therapy and the faculty of the graduate programs in biomedicine, both of which are in the College of Health Sciences, Education, and Rehabilitation, and along with the faculty of the Osborne College of Audiology, and along with the faculty of the Pennsylvania College of Optometry, I am pleased to present to you the class of 2021, all of whom have fulfilled the requirements for the degrees Doctor of Occupational Therapy, Doctor of Philosophy and Biomedicine, Doctor of Audiology, or Doctor of Optometry. I recommend that these earned degrees be conferred on each candidate at this time.
President Middleman stands at the podium to confer the doctoral degrees.
Candidates for the Doctor of Occupational Therapy, Doctor of Philosophy and Biomedicine, Doctor of Audiology, and Doctor of Optometry degrees, upon the recommendation of your faculty, I, representing the Board of Trustees, by power vested in it by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, do now individually confer upon you your earned degree. We recognize each of you as your name is announced.
Dr. Caldwell stands at the podium to announce the graduates' names.
Doctor of Occupational Therapy, Dr. Carol A. Latier. Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedicine, Dr. Kathleen Demery Valverde. Doctor of Audiology Online Bridge Program, Dr. Katrina Valencia Intervencion. Doctor of Audiology, Dr. Jamie Abramson. Dr. Jessica Nicole Adam. Dr. Megan Elise Bowler. Dr. Peyton Evan Burke. Dr. Shannon Mary Daly. Dr. Anna Teresa Demko. Dr. Lisa Gabrielle DeChico. Dr. Glenn Allen Elms. Dr. Marissa Lynn Fosnock. Dr. Danielle Hayden. Dr. Alexandra Ariel Homsany. Dr. Samuel Timothy Johnson. Dr. Brittany Lynn Kelly. Dr. Avneen Carr Cooner. Dr. Gina Roslyn Lerner. Dr. Angela Renee Lowe. Dr. Courtney Taylor McLeod. Dr. Samantha Joanna McMahon. Dr. Rebecca N. Mills. Dr. Dale M. Poston. Dr. Madeline Jane Petrin Curry. Dr. Abigail M. Possinger. Dr. Aranza Rosario. Dr. Alexandra D. Ross. Dr. Troy W. Scanlon. Dr. Amanda B. Shapiro. Dr. Maytal Sarah Slattery. Dr. Cassandra Stevens. Dr. Amy F. Wilson. Dr. Caitlin Helen Wolfe. Dr. Taylor Zavodnik. Doctor of Optometry Accelerated Scholars Program. Dr. Patricia Sider Dickey. Dr. Selena Hong. Dr. Kira Bryn Jeske. Dr. Cerise Louis. Dr. Marion Mikhail. Dr. Sori Park. Dr. Chandni H. Patel. Dr. Natalie Camille Rakas. Dr. Zachary Reynard. Dr. Karamveer Singh Sidhu. Dr. Eugen Su. Dr. Ni Tram. Dr. Mara R. Trasansky. Doctor of Optometry, Traditional Program. Dr. Edita Abazaga. Dr. Alina Adaskin. Dr. Aylin Vedat Adem. Dr. Marissa Elaine Albert. Dr. Giselle Alvarez Granados. Dr. Noor K. Amici. Dr. Ashley Marie Amico. Dr. Rafiala Amini. Dr. Afsana Amir. Dr. Kevin Mark Arjun. Dr. Girthana Sindhu Arun. Dr. Ashley Bakaz. Dr. David Lennox Bacco. Dr. Mark Joseph Bader. Dr. Natalie Hannah Beck. Dr. Mohit Batra. Dr. Ansu Mariam Benson. Dr. Jers G. Bhatti. Dr. Emily E. Blaney. Dr. Rebecca L. Lipovsky Bronsdorf. Dr. Caitlin Michelle Burkett. Dr. Amalia Catherine Burrell. Dr. David Hunter Buderbaugh. Dr. Alyssa Cole Carpenter. Dr. Michael Anthony Casey. Dr. Stephanie Marie Castellanos. Dr. Nabil Chaudhry. Dr. Tiffany T. Chen. Dr. Hannah Elizabeth Covey. Dr. Sigalit Y. Davidoff. Dr. Austin Don Davis. Dr. Dhiren Ashikumar Debi. Dr. Taylor Alexa DeGroot. Dr. Elon Moshe Duck. Dr. Madison Ivy Dunning. Dr. Emily Helen Eisenhower. Dr. Wasim H. Faki. Dr. Kevin J. Feng. Dr. Liana Marie Ferreira. Dr. Marissa Joan Ferris. Dr. Meron Almaz Fita. Dr. Lauren Elizabeth Furikia. Dr. Carlos Andres Giraldo. Dr. Tracy Lynn Godin. Dr. Anastasia Rose Girl. Dr. Veronica Janet Gonzalez. Dr. Rupinder Kaur Guru. Dr. Kira Ann Hagen. Dr. Andrew P. Halton. Dr. Kelsey A. Harnish. Dr. Harpreet Kaur Hehar. Dr. Danielle Hester. Dr. Grant Hirschberg. Dr. Elizabeth Rachel Ide. Dr. Ina Ilyasova. Dr. Tessa Lane Ives. Dr. Alyssa Jagdeo. Dr. Rachel Hersh Jahala. Dr. Simran Kaur Johal. Dr. Farhana Joey. Dr. Pooja Kadakia. Dr. Amina Kadur. Dr. Priyajit Kaur Kainth. Dr. Sukhjinder Kandola. Dr. Colin P. Kane. Dr. Sinlay Kang. Dr. Krista Nicole Kaspar. Dr. Marwan Kasim. Dr. Beth Katz. Dr. Karanjeet Kaur. Dr. Sami Khaldia. Dr. Austin S. Kim. Dr. Caroline P. Krupa. Dr. Ilana Nuzi Layu Kuvuna. Dr. Andrea Labunsky. Dr. Melanie Laferriere. Dr. Nan Kim Huyen Lam. Dr. Ryan Patrick Lawton. Dr. Nan Yu Lee. Dr. Zhang Li. Dr. Crystal Jade Liu. Dr. Lorenzo Dominic Lograsso. Dr. Austin Carl Loshinsky. Dr. Alethea I. Love Harris. Dr. Brittany Luxich. Dr. Kiera Michelle Lynch. Dr. Tanya Malhotra. Dr. Sheila Mochichi Mayani. Dr. Destiny C. Mbidoka. Dr. Sarbjeet Memi. Dr. Dana Corinne Mitchell. Dr. Michael Dwayne Morgan. Dr. Catherine Marie Morris. Dr. Andrew J. Muckin. Dr. Gabrielle Christina Murphy. Dr. Maya M. Murray. Dr. Andrew James Nagy. Dr. Mark A. Nagy. Dr. Quinn Nguyen. Dr. Mara Teresa Josephine Nolan. Dr. Maya Ponshaw. Dr. Sonia Ponshaw. Dr. Akshari Setu Kumar Patel. Dr. Gopi Patel. Dr. Pooja Patel. Dr. Alvamadhya Bond Perry. Dr. Jenny Len Hong Fan. Dr. Nancy Fung. Dr. Gina Marie Perkowski. Dr. Tyler Tongsavan Pravongvinkum. Dr. Jenna Kosmia. Dr. Saleha R. Rana. Dr. Kara Rhine. Dr. Jordan Elizabeth Rogaliner. Dr. Jin C. Anna Ross. Dr. Andy J. Ruin, Dr. Erica Saucedo, Dr. Laura Marie Shad, Dr. Sophia M. Shedler, Dr. Jill K. Sherman, Dr. Gianna Seo, Dr. Victoria Alexis Schust, Dr. Stephanie Sikora, Dr. Samantha R. Spinato, Dr. Sabrina Kayla Steed, Dr. Minji Saw, Dr. Ryan S. Sullivan, Dr. Amy Sumner, Dr. Ara Aku Tamaklo, Dr. Wayne H. Tan, Dr. Leah Michelle Tatsak, Dr. Heidi Christine Tedrick, Dr. Heather Irene Tellez, Dr. Stephanie Jean Tai, Dr. Zoe Zamira Thomas, Dr. Kyle Scott Thompson, Dr. Tanya J. Thurufilial, Dr. Ubicella Toledo, Dr. Kim Nok Tran, Dr. Alexander M. Treza, Dr. Jamie Varghese, Dr. Chapon Viebol, Dr. Tanya Marie Vigdal, Dr. Nick Viglucci, Dr. Ann Wynne Valzone, Dr. Jessie Marie Voracek, Dr. Kiera Demichia Washington, Dr. Anderson Joseph Werner, Dr. Eliza Marguerite Watley, Dr. Ashley Sherelle Wright, Dr. Bethel Yosef, Dr. Allison Marie Young, Dr. Zachary Van Uhas, Dr. Tesneem Zachariah,
Dr. Eckert stands at the podium to recite the oath to professionalism.
With full deliberation, I freely and solemnly pledge that I will practice the art and science of my chosen profession, faithfully, conscientiously and to the fullest scope of my competence. I will uphold and honorably promote, by example and action, the highest standards, ethics, and ideals of my chosen profession. I will provide professional care for those who seek my services with concern, with compassion, and with due regard for their human rights and dignity, without discrimination. I will place the treatment of those whom I serve above personal gain and strive to see that none shall lack for proper care and keep their welfare as my utmost concern. I will maintain absolute confidentiality of all information provided by those who seek my services. I will continuously strive to broaden my knowledge and skills, to deliver all new and efficacious means to enhance my services. I will do my utmost to serve my community, my country, and humankind. I hereby commit myself to be steadfast in the performance of this, my solemn oath and obligation.
Alumni Association President Amanda Marchigiani stands at the podium to congratulate the class of 2021.
On behalf of the Salus University Alumni Association, I am honored to be here today to personally congratulate you on your accomplishments and achievements during your time at Salus University. While striving to attain your goals, both your family and the Salus faculty were there to help you reach this monumental moment in your lives. Your tremendous efforts required immeasurable amounts of time and energy, yet you thrived. Never hesitate to build on the strong foundation Salus has provided you as you begin your professional journey. Both the strong bonds you have with one another and the formation of new relationships will help shape the pathway to future goals. You have now become the newest members of the Salus University Alumni Association, a tremendous resource that can be utilized for your future endeavors. Our alumni have built a foundation of knowledge and experience, and we offer it to you to build upon. We are here to provide support as you explore career opportunities. Please think of us not only as a trusted resource, but also as your connection to Salus for years to come. You will soon receive your Salus University pin. Please accept it as a small token of our appreciation. Wear it with pride. You represent the very best of your profession because of your efforts at Salus. Keep in touch with us and let us help you in any way we can. We enjoy hearing from all of our alumni. In conclusion, on behalf of the Salus Alumni Association Board of Directors and all of our 14,000 alumni, we wish you health, happiness, and much success. We offer you a well-deserved congratulations.
Congratulations, Salus University Class of 2021. Share your photos and congratulatory messages for graduates on social media using hashtag SalusGrad, and don't forget to tag @SalusUniversity. Thank you for celebrating with us today.